So I want to try something different. I want to try starting with a profession and going from profession to race, and then kind of fleshing out a character just from those two, and then letting that lead us to what their primary class is, and then what their secondary class would be. I'm going to try to aim, of course, for something maybe we haven't made before on the channel, but we'll just kind of see where it takes us. So first we have to choose between gathering, processing, and crafting. So let's do this. Let's just randomly select we'll do 1 through 3. 2, it puts us in processing. Alright, and then 1 through 2. 1, let's see what that puts us. Where are we? So 2 put us in processing. And 1 put us in, I skipped over processing, animal husbandry. Ooh. Okay, so first off, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try this like backwards almost, because I haven't really taken into account any professions while we've been making characters. Okay, so let's start. So we're animal husbandry. Let's see exactly how they define as animal husbandry. It's a profession within the processing. Animals found through taming can be bred to discover lesser known species, variants, and untold powers and abilities. So you'll have to have somebody who tames and brings you them. And then there'll be entire breeding mechanics, pets, mounts, livestock, and beast of burden, which you would then use for farmers and such. So that's really cool to be able to use them not only for mounts but for pets, and then to help with livestock, which could be used for food and processing for like cooking, as well as potentially leather. I didn't really see any leather working on here though. I don't know about that. But then other parts that could be used for various other ones, and then beast of burden usually being like a working animal. So that's really neat. And then if somebody finds a royal mount, such as a dragon, animal husbandry artisans with high enough stable upgrade on their freehold would then be able to hatch the dragon. So that's super cool. Okay, so animal husbandry. So what kind of character would be an animal breeder? You know, do we take it in a route of like a blue collar farmer? Do we take it into account of like an animal lover? I think that would be the easiest. You know, because if you automatically think animal lover, nature lover, you could go with the, what is the Pyre, the elves, the one with nature. Excuse me. But then, however, if I were to go, more of like a, beast of burden, if you're focused on beast of burden, which I don't think you have to focus on them. If you focus on like beast of burden and livestock, it feels blue collar. Pets feels more like animal lover, right? Like somebody who's just breeding the pets for people to love and hold on to. And then mounts seems more like somebody who would be more, I don't want to say militaristic, but more action oriented. More like an Indiana Jones kind of feel vibe, I guess I would think. Somebody who used pets for battle, or not pets, but used animals for battle, like riding into PvP or riding into sieges. So I think that's kind of where we're at. And just for ease, I say we go Pyre. And we'll do pets. Right? So we'll go Pyre. And we'll say that they focus primarily. Now, I don't know if you have to focus on any of these, or you're able to do them all at the same time. And they'll focus on pets. Male or female, I don't really care. To do female, I guess. Female Pyre. And then we'll say she is pet focused. I can't type today. Alright. So that was easy. Let's go to the races and the Pyre just to remind me. They're Navajo influenced, right? Yeah. So then let's look up like a Navajo. New Moon seems pretty cool. This means friend to all. Easy. I like it. Friend to all. Even animals. Okay. I just came up with Whisperwind, like she's like an animal whisperer. You know how everybody says, oh, the dog whisperer, oh, the horse whisperer, oh, the blah blah blah. So we just went with Whisperwind. Sounds kind of cool. And Dakota being friend of all in Navajo, and animal husbandry. So she is a friend of all. She loves all of animals. It kind of reminds me of this vibe of like this pirate elven woman and this really like terrifying little pet, teeth, red eyes, teeth, scales, and wings. You know, this little ball of ugly and teeth and scales and blood, and it's just like makes like horrendous noises, like you know, and it's just ugly. And I'm like, oh my god, what is that? And Dakota would come up to him and be like, "Aw, look at the little fur ball. Oh, you want belly scratches?" You know, and this big, ugly, monstrous thing just like, yeah, just like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting already, which is really fun. It'd be fun to role play. You know, imagine even in like a D&D session, if you run up on a displacer beast, and they're obviously very violent and want to kill your face, but everybody's like, "Oh my god, kill it!" And she's like, "Oh, it just wants to be pet." Pulls out treats and come here. You haven't eaten in forever. Do you need some goblin blood? We just killed some goblins. Here's a fresh goblin. Who's a good boy? Like and everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? So that kind of seems like a fun character to play. Yeah. So like working from that, what class would she be? Like this is where we're working backwards. Usually we work from, we rolled a class. Now let's make a character off that class. So this time we rolled a profession, and we're just kind of role-playing through that profession and letting it kind of narrate or guide us, navigate is a better word, navigate us to like the race and then the classes. So let's jump to classes. Go down to our handy-dandy class table. Okay, so immediately I think either summoner or ranger when it comes to animals, right? So let's just kind of go through their different archetypes. Bow, singer, solo starters. Excuse me. None of these really scream to me. So let's pick ranger here and come down here and see if there's anything. Oh, well there. Summoner, primary, ranger, secondary, a beastmaster. Almost. I didn't even realize that it would be that easy. Like, that is, like, right on the nose, right? Primary, summoner. Oh, my God, Jacob. Learn to type. Secondary. Ranger. I apologize, anybody who has to watch this. And that's going to give us our archetype of Beastmaster. Dun da da. Beastmeister. Not what I was going for. Okay. No, it's still the wrong punctuation. Ta-da. Okay. Well, that was easy. Look, like, we started with animal husbandry and all the different ways you could go. And then we started talking about how animal husbandry had, like, really 4 different types of, 4 different categories for the profession. Being beast of burden, which we would assume is more farming, farming and freehold centered. It had mounts, which we would figure is like exploring or PvP oriented. It had pets, which we assumed would be more like showing off, role playing. Maybe your pets, maybe you can pet battle like in World of Warcraft, and maybe not. I don't really care. Maybe just something to follow you around and like you can interact with as like a role play piece or just like a bragging right. And then there was livestock, which we assumed would be for like cooking and stuff, like other professions. And we said that they each kind of gave off their own vibe of what kind of character that animal husbandry specialist would be. And we said with pets, pets feels like somebody who's an animal, a lover of all things, and then obviously a lover of all animals made us think nature oriented or a hippie or something like that. That gave us directly to the what seems to be the race most in tune with nature, which was the Pyre elves. And then we started going into that, and we came up with Takoda, which is a Navajo name, which is the artistic influence for the Pyre. And Takoda means lover of all things. Or no, friend of all. Yes, friend of all. And we were like, oh, it makes perfect sense. And then we went with Whisper Wind. Just whisper, like animal whisper, dog whisper, cat, whatever. It just made sense. And then I added wind because Whisper Wind just went really well together, and I kind of liked it. No real good reason there. And then when we started talking about how Takoda would like be this lover of all pets, friends of all pets, and like even the real beastly, ugly, nefarious looking pets, she would just be like, oh my, you're so pretty. You know, do you want a treat? Do you want some back scrubs? Do you want some belly scratches? Who's that cute little guy? You know, that kind of sounded like Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy. But anyway, we said that kind of be that route. And then we're like, well, what kind of class would be into that? And we started looking. I was like, immediately Summoner or Ranger. And then when you intersect Summoner with Ranger, you get Beastmaster, which makes complete sense. So that just, without a doubt, we built that character pretty quickly. Pretty smooth, right? That felt really smooth. And she even has a little more depth than some of our other characters. The only thing she's missing is a title or a moniker or something to go by. Because, you know, I always say that adds like an extra layer of flavor. So, what could we do? You could just be like the friend of all. Or no. What about the Beast Whisperer? Or what about I'm just thinking of different. Savage is a bad word. I'm just trying to think of something that sounds a little more. Hold on. She was just known as Din Mother. I like it. I don't know if Din Mother is one word or it's hyphenated, but just being called like Din Mother, like, oh yeah, I really need a new pet, or I'm looking for a new pet. Oh, you need to go see the Din Mother. The what now? The Din Mother. She lives on the outskirts, or she lives right over there. And you walk in, and it's just this plethora of different wildlife and pets of all shapes and sizes, and she's a friend to all of them. And you know, she comes in and she's warm and inviting. She's got that beauty of an elf. You know, she's just inherently captivating because of her elven features. And you're just like, oh. And, you know, she is good with bees. She is a master of bees. You know, and I think that's a really cool way to say it. And then if you just want a quick backstory, easy. Grew up on some sort of a farm or some sort of a animal husbandry situation. And as she grew up, she found a love for pets, but she was magically inclined. She was able to summon pets. She was able to summon beasts from another plane. And that kind of gave her familiarity with various beasts that she could summon that maybe she wasn't able to run into in the wild. And then as she progressed down this path of a summoner and whatever comes with that, she starts like trolling the lands, various forests and deserts, and seeking out different animals and pets, you know, and beasts and life of all sorts. And that's when she kind of picks up the ranger subclass, hits level 25. and together they become the Beastmaster. So now she's got like this knowledge of beasts that she runs into, the ability to summon some, and gain like an extra planar knowledge and things like that, and going through the world and, pardon me, and then just eventually having her fill of adventure, settling down in a freehold or a certain node or a city, a town, and kind of setting up her own ranch of sorts, her own breeding situation, her own animal husbandry setup, and where she's just not really worried about mounts, and you know, she could make she could help breed livestock and things for horses for people. Maybe that's how she got started, but then she got into the pets that she just likes the animals being loved for being themselves. She doesn't want them to be loved because they're the fastest or the strongest, or they can, you know, they're the hardiest, they can take the most beating. And she's not necessarily excited about breeding the most beneficial cow or pig or livestock to be killed and eaten. Not really her thing. She doesn't care that people do it. She's not wild about it, but not her thing. And necessarily doesn't really want to make the beasts that just have to work all day and earn their living. She wants to help breed and give life to beast, monsters, creatures that are then taken to just be loved and interacted with, pets. So then just having a plethora of these and being known for it and a place to come get it, and she has so many of them and they're all like guard dogs for her, and then when you get one from her, you know, and you show unconditional love and they show you unconditional love and all these things, and she's very protective of all of them, frighteningly so. And then she kind of obtained the name Den Mother. Yeah. Quick, a little sloppy on the backstory. We could have gone a lot deeper. However, I think starting with the profession and working backwards towards, like starting with profession, and then we went into race, and then we got the name, and then we used all of that to kind of guide us into the class. Sorry, I don't know why I'm coughing so much. And then use the classes and everything to kind of guide us into her moniker or her title, and then use that to guide us even more into the backstory. Like we worked backwards, opposed to starting with the race and a backstory into a name, into a class, or we usually start with the class. You know, it was just a different angle to attack the character creation from. And I think this highlights the fact that I've said in a couple videos that may come out before or after this, that professions are going to have so much support and are going to be so impactful in the game of Ashes of Creation that creating a character from a profession first standpoint or a profession first viewpoint not only would be very plausible from an RP perspective, but could be very plausible from just a character playing the video game perspective. Because we see that Steven and his team, Intrepid Studios, is really trying to encompass this immersion idea, this idea that no matter what part of the game that you enjoy, you are a vital part of the living world, thus making professions of all types very important to giving the world and these cities and these nodes their breath, their life, their heartbeat. So with that, you will without a doubt have profession first players. I think without a doubt. And then just knowing that, and then starting there from like creating a role play character from a profession first standpoint and moving forward, again, I think it's a really cool way, a different way to do it. Maybe we switch it up here and there on the channel to do stuff like that, because I think it while still being creative and still a lot of the same thought processes, just coming at it from a different angle can shed a lot of light on decisions and ideas behind them. Helps drive your story in a different way. You know, your backstory is going to change depending on what your supporting pillar is for the character design. If you start from a profession first standpoint, then the characters themselves will always have that as the focal point and the main vein or the main pillar that you construct their backstory on. Now, if it is a class-centered first, then that's where you're going to be focused from. So I think it is, or if it's a race-centered first, that's where your backstory and that's where your character is going to be primarily going to get a lot of their flavor and their construction and their thought process behind them from, their story. I don't know where I was going with that. So I just am really enjoying the fact that Intrepid is embracing various aspects of the game and trying to make them all interconnect and make every way that somebody could interact with the game, be vital to the living, breathing, the heartbeat, the breath of the world of Vera. And I think this, while this is simple and unimportant, making a character profession first and working our way through for a role-playing character, I just think it highlights the fact that that is part of their thought process, and another reason why I think this game is going to be fun and awesome and is going to appeal to a wide variety of players and player bases. So thanks for sticking around for our first profession's first character creation. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun sticking around with me for Dakota Whisperwind. That's so cool. But Dakota Whisperwind, the female pirate elf, the Beastmaster, the Den Mother. Have a good day.